In this video, I'm going to go over how to find your first and your last frost dates. So you're going to go to the Farmer's Almanac website, and they have a page where you can type in your zip code. So I'm going to type in mine to give you an example, and it's going to bring up your first and last frost date based on historical data. So this is not an exact date. It could be, but it's going to give you a general guideline. So it's saying that my last spring frost is March 1st, and my first fall frost is November 24th, and our growing season is 266 days long. And so this information is important to know because when it comes time to planting vegetables, all of your planting dates are based off of the first and last frost dates. For example, broccoli should be planted 6 to 8 weeks before the first fall frost. But if you live in a cooler zone and your months of like August, September, October are cooler, you can likely plant your broccoli a lot sooner, but also your frost dates are going to be different as well. So for your own area, you just need to go in and type in your zip code and then figure out your first and last frost dates, and then all of your planting dates will be based off that information. But also keep in mind that this is not an exact day that you have to plant. So like I said, for broccoli, 6 to 8 weeks before the first fall frost is when you should plant broccoli. But that's not set in stone. If we're having like a really cool fall, I could likely plant it sooner. But if it's still really warm, I might plant it later. So you just kind of have to look at the weather and look at the conditions that are favorable for that vegetable. A lot goes into it, but also I don't want you to overcomplicate things. But put these dates or write these dates down somewhere. And then another thing to keep in mind is that you can also just sort of grow vegetables when the weather's favorable. So I pulled up a couple vegetables. The first one right here is a variety of broccoli. And True Leaf Market's one of my favorite seed companies, and they also usually give a lot of good growing information, so they're a great site to check out if you're trying to look up when to grow something. So I just wanted to show you really quick, if you look under the growing info, you can see down here where it says temperature preference, and this broccoli grows best when it's 40 to 70 degrees outside. So as soon as your area starts getting those kind of temperatures, you can be growing broccoli. And so you don't have to wait, until the calendar says to do so. Just kind of pay attention to the weather and base your planting off of that. Here's another example for carrots. It says temperature preference is 55 to 75. So pay attention to your weather. I also have some really helpful charts in the course that will help you as far as the length of seasons for different vegetables, and that will really help you get started as well. But get your first and last frost dates and write them down somewhere, and it will come in handy. But don't worry, it's not set in stone. And then you also might be in a warm zone and be thinking you don't ever even get a frost. So what do you do with that information? And like I showed you here, you will just grow things when the weather is favorable. You don't have to worry about your first and last frost dates, but you're going to be growing based off of the weather and the temperature preference for whatever vegetable it is you're growing.